Aaron, tonight, the streets of Ferguson remain calm exactly 1 year after the grand jury decided not to indict Officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown. We have live team coverage tonight from Ferguson as we continue to follow up on what exactly happened that night. ABC 17's Jillian Fertig is joining us now live with a look back at how state officials responded to that unrest. And Jillian, there's still a lot of disagreement about how some of those events were handled.
Yes, Daniel, the riots that this community saw 1 year ago left behind millions of dollars in damages. It also left behind a lot of questions. One of the big questions, who was in charge that night? And that's a question some say they still feel like they don't have an answer to. In hearings at the Capitol over the last year, community leaders say the response from the National Guard was nothing like they had hoped and nothing like the state's leaders seem to have promised. Here's a look back at some of the chaos and the confusion that night among state and local officials.
Mr. Speaker, this is James Knowles. It is about 11 o'clock. Hey, buddy, I really appreciate your help in getting to the governor. He is completely unresponsive. The National Guard is not responding, and they are letting our entire city burn.
First of all, there were guard in Ferguson, and everybody knows that. They were guarding the command posts, and they were at other locations in Ferguson. So, I mean, I don't mean to be chippy about that, but they were there.
I was told also, though, that the West Florissant would have protection from National Guard troops that were to be stationed at the command center that was nearby. We later found out that those National Guard troops weren't at the command center.
Not a single person was killed due to the unrest in Ferguson. Not a single shot was fired by the patrol or any other law enforcement agency.
They asked for resources. They asked for National Guard troops to be in Ferguson. I was later told that they would not be in Ferguson, that plan was rejected or changed.
The plan that was in place that night is still being scrutinized by some lawmakers. And the question remains tonight, how will the state respond differently? Should there be a similar crisis in the future? Reporting live in Ferguson, Jillian Fertig, ABC 17 News.
Thank you, Jillian. Coming up on ABC 17 News at 6, we're talking to those who live in the area, asking them in the community what has changed over the past year. We'll hear from them in less than an hour on ABC 17 News at 6.